Hello guys, this is the continuation of the previous tutorial. So far we have created a new branch called About, and in the About page we have created an About folder and also have added an index.html file. So now let's say our boss came with an emergency update that we need to make. Now I need to go ahead and stop my development which I was doing under the About, and I will do a hotfix just that we did previously. Now we're going to go ahead and do another news fix that I have to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch myself to the master, and since these are the new changes and these changes are totally independent of the About because we are not yet finished with the About, so we will create another branch and we will call it as news-hotfix. So we're going to go ahead and first look at the list of branches we have right now. So we have three branches, About, Master, and News-Hotfix. As you can understand, this News-Hotfix is the previous one. So it's from the other previous tutorial that we have done. So what we're going to do now is we will go ahead and get rid of this branch by doing a News-Hotfix. So we're going to go ahead and delete this branch. And now what we're going to do is right now we only have two branches left, About and the Master. Now I'm going to go ahead and create another branch to handle this emergency update. So we're going to go ahead and say git branch, and then the name of my branch is news-hotfix here. So now I'm going to create another branch here, and then I will check out as this branch. So as you can see here, this branch is off of the master. So right now this news-hotfix has everything that a master branch has it. So whatever was there in the master branch, news-hotfix has it. Now since we have added the About folder and index.html in the About branch, which is totally independent of this news-hotfix, so what we're going to do here is we will go ahead and do our quick update that we need to do for this emergency update. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the news sections in the index.html page. So I'll go back here and I'll say index.html. So in this index.html, I'm going to go ahead and add a link here for my news2 section. So I'm going to go ahead and create a link here and I'll call it as news-2.html. We have not created a news-2.html still. We're going to go ahead and create that page also, but I'm going to call it as a red rebellion. So this is my fix for my news-update. Now I'm going to go ahead and look it up in the browser. And you will see that there is a red rebellion has been added. This link is not working still because it is looking for a news-2.html file, which is not there still. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and commit this changes now. So we're going to look at the status of the repository. It says that there is a file which has been modified. So I'm going to go ahead and commit my changes in this with the single command here. So I'm going to say git commit -a-m, added the second news item to index page. So now I've added this. If you look at the status, you will say both are in sync. So now I have added these, merge the branch crazy, add the second news item to the index page. As you can see, it is not aware of the About branch at all. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and create that news-2.html file as well. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go ahead and create this news-2.html file. So I'm going to go ahead under the my git repo and hit the save button. So this is my file. Now what goes in this particular news-2.html? Now these are the contents of the news-2.html. As you can see, it has a simple paragraph I've added. It has a red text here, and also there is a link which takes to the index.html page. Let's go ahead and look it up in the browser, and this is how this page looks like. So it goes to the return to the home page, and if you click on a red rebellion, it will take you to this particular page here. So now we're satisfied with our emergency update. We are good to publish it. So we're going to go ahead and add these changes or commit these changes to this news.dash hotfix. So if you look at the status of your repository right now, it'll tell you that there is a file that has been changed or that has been added. It's an untracked file. It has added. We need to go ahead and commit these changes. So I'm going to go ahead and say git add, and I'm going to add this file HTML, git add news.2.html. Now if you look at the status, this file is now under the tracked. It's a tracked file, but it has been modified, so we're going to go ahead and commit these changes. So we're going to go ahead and say git commit -m add article for the second news item. Since we have added the second news item, so I have went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and commit these changes. So we're satisfied with our emergency update. We have done our hotfix. Now we can do is we can merge these changes. We are good to release this, and we are good to publish these changes. So now we're going to go ahead and publish this news hotfix. Now we are ready to merge the news update back into the master. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out as master again, and then I'm going to go ahead and merge these changes, whatever the changes was there from the news-hotfix into the master branch. So if you look at the master branch right now, it does not have the news-2 that we created under the news-hotfix branch, and it will also not have the link for the, if you go ahead and look at the index.html, you will also find out that it does not have the Red Rebellion link here because that got added into the news-hotfix. So what we're going to do here is we will go ahead and merge these changes into the master from the news-hotfix branch. So I'm going to go ahead and say merge these changes. So the merge has been successful. So now if I go back and look at my repository, you will see that there is a file got added called news-2. And also, if you go ahead and refresh this page, you will see that there's a link for a Red Rebellion has been added from the news-hotfix branch. So we are good with this. Now we can go ahead and move back to our about development branch. But now, guys, there is a problem. The problem is, before that, let's go ahead and delete this branch because we no longer need this news-hotfix. So right now, if you go ahead and look, we have 3 branches. Get rid of this news-hotfix because it's an exact replica of the master. So it's no point in keeping this branch anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and say delete the news-hotfix branch. So now if you go ahead and look at the number of branches that you have right now, it only lists down to 2. So now if you go ahead and move back to your about, let's go ahead and continue our changes with the about page, because since we had this hotfix, we kind of diverged our attention from the about branch which we were developing before. So let's go ahead and switch back to the about branch. But the problem here is we came across the same scenario now that we did it in the earlier tutorial. This puts up in the same position as we were in before, which resulted into the merge conflict. What happened is we want to pull the changes from the master branch. Now because the master branch has been updated, but the about branch is not aware that the master branch has been updated. Now if you do the merge, what will happen is you can go ahead and do the merge. But what we'll do is it will kind of add those unnecessary commits between these branches. So instead of finishing up, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go ahead and do the merge here. I'll continue with my about. So I'm going to go ahead and check it as about. Now about is not aware of the news-2 and anything that the master has been updated. So now what we're going to do here is instead of doing a merge this time, I'm going to do a rebase. What this rebase does, the rebase took the entire, so basically what will it do is it will go ahead and update the master in the about branch. So right now the about branch is pulled off of the older or is based off of the older version of the master. So right now if you look at the about is based off of the older version of the master, but now the master has been newly updated, So this rebase command, what will it do is it will go ahead and from the older version of the master, now it will point to the newer version of the master. So now if I go ahead and type in git rebase master, now what this command did, the rebase took the entire about branch and plopped it into the tip of the master branch. So what I mean here is, so initially let's say this was the, from here we pulled our about branch. This is the place where I pulled off this particular about branch. But now the master has been updated. This is the master branch. Now the master has been updated. So what, by doing a rebase, what it does is it basically pulls off from here and switch it to here. So basically now about is of the updated branch of the master without doing any merge. We have not done any merge, so there will not be any commit message or anything like that. So what we did is what we did here is the rebase took the entire about branch and plopped it under the tip of the master branch. So from here it started to do. So now this about branch is off of the updated version of the master branch. So if I go back here, this is the command to do that, git rebase master. So rebasing also allowed us to integrate the most up-to-date version of master without a merge commit. So without doing a merge commit, we have successfully able to integrate the most updated master branch. Now what we're going to do here is, since we have done this, now let's go ahead and hit the enter button. Okay, so as you can see here, it tells you first rewinding head to replay your work on top of it. So whatever is in the current master, so now the about branch is off of that current master. So that is called rebasing. Now we will go ahead and continue our changes in the about branch. So now in this case, we will add a new file called me.html inside the about folder. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new file here. So now the about branch is aware of all the changes that were there in the master. So now you can see there is a new --2. We have not done a merge, but it got all the latest changes from the master using the rebase. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a new file called me.html inside of this about folder. So I'm going to go ahead and save it as inside of this, and I'm going to call it as me.html. Now we're going to go ahead and add a personal bio in this me.html page. So now these are the changes that I've added to the me.html file. So if you look it up in the browser, so you will see that these are the changes that I've added, and if you click on this, it'll take you to the index page, but under the about folder, not the main index page, but whatever is there in the about index.html, because I have added a link here for the index.html page, which is in that particular current folder. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and commit these changes. So I'll go to my bash prompt here, and I'm going to say git add the file that is there inside of the about folder. So we're going to go ahead and say git add. If you look at the status here, you will see there is a file change. So I'm going to go ahead and commit these changes, and the message that I'm going to use is I'm going to say add the HTML page for personal bio. So this is my commit that I've done. And now if you go ahead and look at one line status, you will find out here is that it does not has any merge messages. This is because of the rebase. Since we did not do a merge, so if we would have done the merge to avoid the conflict, what would have happened was there would have been a message saying merge into the about branch. So we would have merged the master into the about branch, and so keeping those changes together because of the rebase, we were able to keep those all the changes, all the commits related to the about because of the rebase. What the rebase did is it actually got the latest changes from the master, and we started our about branch off of those latest changes. So we did something like this. Initially, this about branch was created off of this master branch, but then since the master got updated, what happens is by using a rebase command, now instead of about branch got created from the older version, now it is pointing of the new version of the master. So it got all the changes from the master branch, and whatever the commits that we did in the about, we could have kept it together. So this is what the rebase does for us.